Hello.
Hello.
Thanks for agreeing to set up this interview. As you know, we only have a short amount of time, so let's go ahead and get started right away. Now, I know that you've been involved in some work on community issues. Can you tell me what attracted you to the community issue that you chose at the beginning of the semester?
Sure thing. The community issue I chose at the beginning of the semester was loot boxes in video games and how they function as gambling systems. This is an issue to me because a lot of the video games coming out now are using these loot box systems, and the way that these loot box systems work is that they use a pay to win aspect with the loot boxes. So the more loot boxes you buy, the more games you're able to win. This is an issue because a lot of the games coming out, children under 18 are able to buy this. That exposes them to the gambling before they're even legally allowed to be able to do that. This is also an issue because of the fact that these loot boxes aren't being regulated through the government because of the fact that they aren't considered gambling yet. And I personally think that something needs to be done to change that.
Okay, thank you. Now, your materials also said that you were involved in a community issue team project that focused on a call to action.
Correct.
Can you share with me what call to action your team put forward and why you chose that call to action?
Definitely. The issue we put forward was that workers in today's society are treated very poorly from any customers coming into the store, as well as any managers that might have issues. This is an issue from one of my other group members because of the fact that we all have experience with this issue. We decided that it would be the best idea to try and find a solution for this. Our solution for that was that customers need to learn that they need to treat workers better because they are just doing their job. They haven't done anything wrong. As well as we need to teach workers when they are getting the training before their job has started that they need to learn how to deal with these customers because as much as it is not a good thing, they're going to have to deal with customers that are going to be like that.
I see. Now, if I were to ask the other members of your team what they think your biggest strength is, what do you think they would say, and why do you think they would say it?
Personally, I think that my biggest strength that my group members would also agree with is that I was able to put together a very nice rough outline as well as make a very detailed outline after making that rough outline. I when I was doing the outline for our speech, our group speech, I put together a very detailed rough outline before anything, and then once the other group members put in their points of the speech, I also proceeded to put even more detail into my outline.
Okay, great. What for you was the most challenging thing about working with your team?
Personally, I think the most challenging thing was that we could have gotten some more training into the speech because of the fact that we only met a few days before the speech and practiced it only a couple of times. I personally think that the speech would have been much better if we had put more effort into training in the speech as well as we only got the outline done a couple of days before we did the training for the speech as well. So I think that if we had done that before everything, I do think that our speech would have been much better and much more informative.
Thank you. Okay, last question. In 30 seconds or so, tell me what your biggest takeaway was from COMM 110 this semester. What will stick with you and be useful to you?
Personally, I think that learning how to deal with anxiety before a speech and learning how to put together speeches before I need to do them is going to be one of the biggest takeaways from COM 110. I also think that it will help me with interviews and not being as afraid of the interviews before they happen as I can prepare myself for any questions that might be asked before the interview. So I seem like a much better person and I'm much more well prepared for that interview. I think that as well with COM 110 that it just overall helps my anxiety when it comes to speaking in public to people I don't know or anything like that.
All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
Mm-hmm.
We'll probably be in touch with you in the next few weeks or so.
Sounds good.
Take care.
You too.